again, everyone. I'm Mike King, along with Speedway historian Donald Davidson. We're here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Hall of Fame Museum, and we welcome you to another edition of Indy 500, The Classics. Today, we're talking about the 1972 race, and Donald, lo and behold, for the first time ever, one of these contraptions is legal in a race car at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah, the crew chiefs have been trying to work them in for several years, and in 1971, the year before this, McLaren found a way to mold one into the body so that it would become an integral part of the body, and the speeds jumped from 170 to 179 miles an hour. And so for 72, the tech crew said, all right, then you can use the wings. And we had these massive tray-appearing things with bolt-ons, and the downforce that they created was phenomenal. The speeds just spiraled, and you just won't believe what happened in qualifications.
1972, the year of the wing. Take a look at our qualifying runs.
This is the way it looks most of the year. A great speedway waiting for the sound of engines and the happy confusion of people. Then in late April, the race drivers arrive, and soon after, the crowds. New race cars start their high-speed life under the watchful eyes of mechanics and designers. They come here from far away, and the magnet that draws them is the richest prize in auto racing. There are 81 entries. The fastest 33 will earn for their owners and drivers a share of the $1 million purse. And the amount of each share, well, that's what it's all about. Like children taking first steps, new cars roll onto the track. Like a bird learning to fly, a rookie driver must learn the ways of high speed at Indianapolis, and he is lucky if he has an older brother to help him. Their name is Bettenhausen, and their name is Unser. Bobby and Al Unser have both won the 500, but Al has within his grasp the chance of a lifetime to be the first three-time consecutive winner in history. His car, like those of his teammates, was designed with futuristic V-shaped dihedral wings by Maurice Philippe for the Parnelli-Jones racing team. A combination of airfoils and the dihedral wings produces high-speed stability. But somewhere, at least on Al's car, 10 miles of critical top speed is missing. And so, with time already short, the decision is made to remove them on all four cars. The change is immediate and startling. Speeds climb, and under the sharp edge of competition, a pattern emerges. And then the mistakes begin. Since the day that the Speedway opened in 1909, there have been accidents. High speed is not the cause, for speed is relative. Mechanical failure and human error are the chief factors, and so you try to get as much safety help as possible to offset this. Mario Andretti remembers his fiery crash of 1969. He wears fire-retardant clothing. His helmet and car, like those of his competitors, has been certified after exhaustive tests and inspection. The concept of high-speed safety is almost a science at the 500. Men in a wide variety of safety equipment wait for the moment when they might be needed, even if it's only tow service for a car that just won't go. But all the engineering and high-speed know-how of the racing fraternity has never been able to do anything about Indianapolis weather. Late in the afternoon on the first day of qualifications, the sky cleared. A.J. Foyt went out to qualify and blew an engine. So much for May 13th, 1972. The 14th started off with Steve Krisloff on the track. He slid a total of 500 feet. There was minor damage to the car, the driver okay. 2:46 p.m. Bill Vukovich visited the wall in turn 1. He had just turned a record lap of 185.797. Joe Leonard, the defending United States Auto Club champion and winner of the California 500, wheels onto the track in the first of Parnelli Jones' team cars. In 4 fast qualifying laps, he turns a new record average of 185.223. That's almost 14 miles per hour faster than his 1968 pole-winning speed. On the track, Mario Andretti, the 1969 Indianapolis winner and 3-time national champion. His qualifying speed, 187.617. Another new record. He drives down the same street his father used to drive. Gary Bettenhausen, a record 188.877. Bobby Unser, 1968 Indianapolis winner, does what everyone has been expecting, 195.940. Shatters all existing records and boosts last year's full speed by 17 miles per hour. The gentleman from Wichita Falls, Texas, Lloyd Ruby, turns in a 4-lap average of 181.415. He'll start the race in the 4th row. Now it's Tuesday, May 16th. Art Pollard has already qualified for the race. Then, on this midweek practice run, a right rear hub broke. A wheel came off, and the car virtually destroyed. How do you race a car that looks like this? Well, the magicians of Gasoline Alley have been answering that question for 60 years. It's called hard work and no sleep. While mechanics ply their trade, still to qualified drivers get in more running time. Cale Unser circles the track in Parnelli's 3rd team car. Sometimes a driver needs a new perspective, so study the others and see what you're doing right or wrong. Saturday brings the final 2 days of qualifying. There are 21 spots left, and Mark Donohue of Newton Square, Pennsylvania, claims 1. His speed, 191.408. Peter Revson wins the remaining front row place with 192.885. Then Al Unser. At 32, he has already accomplished more than most racers do in a lifetime. His lap speeds, all in the 183-mile-per-hour bracket, are not what he wanted. But at this point, he is very happy to settle for 19th starting place. Mike Mosley pushes to 189 miles per hour, and this is not what he wanted, considering he had practiced consistently over 190. Still, from his 16th starting position, he looks back on 2 Indianapolis winners. In the statistics, Jerry Grant is no longer rated as the heaviest 500 driver. His consistent year-long diet may have had something to do with a near record of 189.294. Then, of course, there is the yearly drama of the man on the bubble. His name is Cale Yarborough, and his speed of 178.864, ironically faster than last year's pole, is the slowest of the field. He waits out the agonizing minutes till 6 p.m. as driver after driver tries and fails to bump him out of the race. The seconds tick away. It's all over.
So wing and all, Bobby Unser is on the pole for the 1972 Indianapolis 500. But even though he's not one of the fastest qualifiers, it's his brother Al who everyone is looking at.
Al can make history. He'd won the race in 1970 and 1971, so he now stands to do what nobody has ever done, and that's win 3 years in a row.
Al Unser looking for the trifecta in 1972. Let's take a look at highlights from the 1972 Indianapolis 500.
agonizing moments go by. Hoyt is pushed over a starting line he crossed 3 times in victory. Andretti moves down and pushes into second spot behind Bobby Unser. Number 33, driven by Salt Walter, is the first car out of the race. Transmission failure. Bobby Unser has widened his lead. Donohue, Revson, Bettenhausen, and Andretti behind him. Into the high 170s as the field settles down for the long ride. "26 laps down. Peter Revson coasts slowly through turn 2, out of the race. From every observer's post comes the word Bobby Unser is slowing down and coming into the pits. At 30 laps, his domination of the race ends. Just a little thing, like a broken distributor, sidelines a champion. Gary Bettenhausen leads now. Mike Mosley has moved up from 16th to 2nd. Mario Andretti is pushed to his pit out of fuel. Donohue and Jerry Grant in the pits on the 40th lap leave at the same time. It's Donohue that almost hits the pylon. That pit apron just isn't wide enough. Joe Leonard makes his first routine stop of the race. He's been running in the top 10 since the start. Andretti, now refueled, is ready to go also. It's a drag race all the way to the first turn. Johnny Rutherford goes wide in turn 1, but saves it. And Mike Mosley moves into the lead. It's the 54th lap, and he starts his run for victory. In the 56th lap, he's running strong. Through turn 1, 2, 3, and then turn 4. Crashed twice in turn 4 a year ago. Today, once more. And this time while leading the race. It was mechanical failure, pure and simple. But from such coincidences, superstitions are born. The race slows. Mosley is singed, but all right. And there's a mess to clean up. Now the new caution light system comes into play. Lights set for under 100 miles per hour keep the field in position. If you saw a number 3 when the light went on, and you've slowed to the proper speed, you should see a number 3 all around the track. If you see another number, you're going too fast or too slow. In the pits, a moment of confusion. Bettenhausen is leaving as Donohue arrives. traffic is heavy, as it almost always is during a caution light. Cale Unser makes his second stop and is on his way in 22 seconds. Gary Bettenhausen has the lead again. Gordon Johncock, Revson's teammate, comes through the pit. An exhaust valve has sidelined him and his dreams. There's no time to find a body shop during the 500, but Lloyd Ruby has a missing nose wing. He pulls in. The rest is an exercise in coordination and pre-planning. Running quietly, suddenly moves into the lead as Bettenhausen pulls into the pits. It's the 162nd lap. Jerry Grant experiences that wonderful sensation for the first time, leading the Indianapolis 500. Grant knows he must still make a pit stop, but just maybe he can catch Bettenhausen, who has taken back the lead and has Joe Leonard breathing down his neck. Grant blasts back into the battle. His crew checks the remains of 350 gallons of fuel. Jerry had better have enough to finish the race. Bettenhausen is running a few seconds ahead of Grant. And then Bettenhausen is moving to the inside, coasting as Jerry Grant goes back into the lead. Donohue moves up to second place. Cale Unser is third, Joe Leonard fourth. And now there's an element of confusion. Gurney believes Grant is a lap ahead of Donohue, so they tell him to slow down and save fuel. Bobby desperately tries to project himself into the car with Grant to help him into winner's circle. On Grant, and they give him the go sign. A short distance away, a large checkered platform waits, but for only one winning car. It's the 188th lap. Grant, in a surprise move, comes into the pits. He has a vibrating wheel. In order to better deal with the situation, Gurney directs him into Bobby's vacant pit. But the damage is done when the pit crew routinely connect up the fuel hose, Bobby's fuel hose, to Grant's car. You can't do that and stay in the race. Grant chases Donohue, but there's a spin in the short chute, just enough to turn on the caution light, and there's only a few laps to go. Donohue and Grant are locked in position. Donohue is one full lap ahead, and Jerry can't do anything about it, and Donohue may have a fuel problem. The green flag, but it's too late for Grant. He passes Donohue, unlapping himself as they move into the 199th lap. Finish. Grant over the line first, but in reality almost a minute behind the winning Donohue. Cale Unser is a strong third, at least for the moment. Now a young man from Pennsylvania moves into a winner's circle in Indiana. He actually slowed down to win, detuning the engine so that he could be sure the car would go the distance. At that, it's a new record of 163.465 for the 500 miles.
Mark Donohue parks the number 66 car in victory lane following the 1972 running of the Indianapolis 500, and it gives win number 1 to car owner Roger Penske.
When he came here in 1969, he said that they had a 3-year plan to win the race, which would have been 1971. Well, they missed it by a year, but they made up for it. This was the first, and there would be many, many more.
Many, many more indeed. Once again, Mark Donohue, the winner of the 1972 Indianapolis 500. We thank you for being with us for this edition of Indy 500, The Classics.